So today, we'll be making an OC. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. What is an OC? These OCs were made by crew, but to answer your question, OC basically means original character. So you can give them traits, character designs, and honestly anything that makes them unique. So before we even start designing, let's answer a common question. Is there any rules when making an OC? Well, the short answer is no, and the longer answer is no with an explanation. So an OC's purposes is probably for your own self, not for companies or anything else. But when you're making an OC, you would normally find inspirations from others as well. And those inspirations can get a bit tricky. Oftentimes when designing, we take reference onto something, and that is absolutely normal. But to the point where our picture starts to look like the reference and a replica of it 101, that's where things start to get messy. So what's the solution? Well, there's no exact solution, but if you're asking for a method, I would recommend the Frankenstein Method. So in simple terms, we are taking elements from different characters that we are inspired of, and then we take those little bits into an original concept and design, making a new character. By taking multiple inspirations and not only for one character, this would prevent of fully copying another character or accidentally plagiarizing another artist's work.
The term original itself means created directly and personally by a particular artist, not a copy or imitation, or a present of existing from the beginning first or earliest.
Which means an original character is a concept of a character that you made by your own. Wow, I didn't know I yapped so much. And for some context, the one that I'm drawing currently is my newest mascot for this channel. And no, I am not replacing Nirvendas. It's basically still the same, just with different outfits and hairstyles. And I haven't finished the final design yet, so if you guys want to help me design Nirvendas, comment your ideas down below. I would love to hear them. Thank you for listening, and let's head back to the video. So now you know how to not plagiarize someone's artwork accidentally. And Frankenstein Method is not made by me, so credits to whoever made that. Now let's move on to the process, the more exciting and fun part. I heard you like to traumatize your OCs. Well, that's a good thing, because we'll be needing a story for them. Generally, there's no rules in making OCs. Even if your OC's occupation looks different from their outfits, it can be just a theme, and I don't think there's gonna be any problem unless you are making an OC specifically for a webcomic or a show that needs some character design. Remember what I said about a theme? So, this is how you can design your OC easily. First, you decide your main theme. I chose mine to be a baker, and then we have sub-themes that you guys want to input in your OCs. Like, she's a secret agent that uses a cannon, but also can be very deceiving because she looks super adorable. And then you can mesh them all together and create the cutest agent baker girl. Well, that's just another method to help you guys to make your perfect OC. And speaking of perfection, you won't get it on the first try. My OC took literally 10 times to create a design that was suitable enough, and I'll even tweak the design after. So there's gonna be a lot of retrying and redoing. That's why I recommend to save your old drafts so you know where the mistakes and what you like from your old draft to move on with your new draft or design. Storytelling is a big thing when making an OC, but I won't cover the whole thing since it needs its own video with the large information that it's given. But there are a few points that are important in storytelling and would help a lot in making an OC. I've already mentioned this in my character design video. I don't want this to be a repetition, so I'll just make this really short. So first thing is trauma. I know you guys love traumatizing your characters, so I think you guys are already professional in this section. I won't cover that, but what are their future goals and what are their purpose? And their flaws, their strength, their hobbies. Just little simple things that would make a character. And how will they develop themselves? I think those are some important questions that you need to ask yourself to see if your character is really just a design or actually a character. Now close your eyes and imagine yourself in a dark room. Sitting there alone, you have a typewriter. It definitely wasn't yours, but it felt like you knew what to do. You started typing like crazy. You wrote the lore of your character, from background stories till their future. And somehow it felt right. Hey, did you have a nice dream? So what makes an OC and a character design so different is an OC is more personal and character design is more focused on the design, where OC is more focused on the story probably. So yes, it is indeed more to storytelling with the help of visual designs. If you know what I meant, then you're clearly graduated from this video. Congratulations! Now we'll be moving on to samples and example. We'll be using my OC Nirvendas. Nirvendas back then was just a chibi OC that has nothing, no story, and just a mascot. I'm sorry Nirvendas, I did you dirty. But now, I will be making him into a character now. So, on topic, an original character doesn't have to be the most original concept being put in one character. Let's take an example. A talking chair. Well, the idea sure is original and unique, but does it make it fascinating for the viewers? Well, maybe to some. In opposite, my character Nirvendas, he is an author and an artist, where his creation became alive. It's not the most unique topic and pretty generic in my opinion. But we can add sub-elements to make things more fascinating, like how the world revolves around this change. But then again, it is your OC, so if you want to make a talking chair, that's on you. The point that I'm trying to say is, not every idea has to be original. And a hot take, I don't think anything is original since something is always inspired by another thing. As confusing as it sounds, it mostly depends on your own perspective about what is an original work. I am not going to force my opinion to anyone, but that is my opinion. So no one comment me, okay? But again, take this all with a bit of grain as this is not a full-fledged tutorial on how you should do it. You should just have fun and have your own creative freedom on making OCs. This is just my own take and my opinion to help you all in the process. OCs doesn't have to be serious. This can be all just for fun, guys. You can make your silly little goober stories and just enjoy, honestly. I know it's getting a bit repetitive that I keep saying have fun, but honestly, art is fun, for me at least. So I don't want you guys to waste your time on something you don't like. Be experimental, be free, and most importantly, take breaks, don't burn yourself out. We all have a lot to go. So just sip a cup of coffee or tea and take it slow. Well, that's the end of the video for you. And if you're still here, thank you for watching and have a good day!